Hey guys, Thrasher here, and today we're talking about the Master Body Changer, Captain Ginyu. How does he work? What teams does he fit on? Does he fit in the meta? We're going to go over it all right now. Let's get into it. Okay, so Captain Ginyu is a tanky defensive unit who has a large health pool, but poor offensive and defensive stats. So he works extremely well on the Ginyu Force team as he gets buffed up by all the Ginyu Force members' Z abilities. The question is, where does he fit outside of the Ginyu Force team that he was built for? So let's jump into his abilities real quick and talk about it. Let's open this up. We go over to ability, and this is his main ability, Your Body is Mine. So a lot of people were hoping that when you use this ability, it was going to switch bodies with another person and you could possibly play as the other character, or at least switch bodies and fight in the other character's body. That's not really how this works. Your Body is Mine switches characters, does damage, and then does bleed damage, switches back to Captain Ginyu so the other person bleeds while you continue fighting. One other thing to mention about Your Body is Mine real quick, it does not have infinite range, so a lot of people miss this ability and ask me why they're not able to hit with it. You have to be at melee range or mid-range. So there's 3 different ranges: melee range, where you're right up on a unit and you can punch them in the face. If you backstep once, that puts you at mid-range. If you backstep one more time, that puts you at long range. If you're at long range, you cannot hit with Your Body is Mine. So you have to make sure that if you hit someone and then immediately after you hit them, you want to use Your Body is Mine. If you're not at mid-range, you need to step forward once, so dash forward, and then you can use Your Body is Mine or it will miss. And that's really all there is to that. So the next thing is the Z ability. Nothing crazy here. He increases the base health for all your Ginyu Force members. Outside of a Ginyu Force team, this isn't helpful. It'll just buff him a little bit, and no other units. And then here is where he has a mild amount of synergy with other units in the game. So down here he gets 20% blast damage increase when he is on a team with a Frieza Force member. So all Ginyu Force members are Frieza Force members. I know some people had some questions about that. If they're Ginyu Force, they'll also have a Frieza Force tag. But outside of that, Sparking Vegeta, the standard Vegeta, not the Super Saiyan Vegeta, but the purple Sparking Vegeta and the Final Form Frieza are also Frieza Force members. So there are some characters that you can put on a team with Captain Ginyu that will give him a small amount of synergy. They don't synergize in many other ways, but they do have that. The next thing to look at are his actual stats. So his raw stats, like I said, he has a ton of health. He's either the 2nd or 3rd highest health pool in the game. The only problem is that his attack and defense stats are all very poor. He does have very good critical and very good ki restore, so he's a reasonable damage sponge. I wouldn't call him a tank because he won't stop the damage. What he'll do is just sort of redirect the damage. So if someone else is taking a lot of damage, you can switch into Ginyu and he'll take all of that damage instead. He won't reduce the damage, but he's got such a large health pool that it shouldn't make a huge difference, but I wouldn't call him a full tank. The other thing that Captain Ginyu has going for him are the cards that he brings to battle. So he is the first Sparking unit to bring this green special skill card to battle. So if you ever have those missions where you need to use a certain amount of special skills in battle, or if at some point you build out a team where special skills are really important to your fighting strategy, then he's actually a very powerful unit because he can get you more green cards than you would normally get. We'll go ahead and look at his tags real quick. Like I said, all Ginyu Force members are Frieza Force members, so keep that in mind when you're running Ginyu Force. They also count as Frieza Force characters, which we notice from the abilities. Great, that's a general idea of the character as a whole, but the question is, what teams does he work on? So let's close this out, and we know he works on this team right here. This is the team he was built for. If you're not running this team, he's not going to be your optimal character. But you can make him work with other units. He work reasonably well anywhere where you don't have Piccolo and you need a mild tank of some form. He's a reasonably decent green damage sponge, like I said. He also can work on a team with Final Form Frieza or a team with Vegeta because he will do increased blast damage. But the real place that he shines is this Ginyu Force team. So he has some great equipment, some silver equipment that buffs his stats, and all of these Ginyu Force members are going to buff his stats. Without those buffs, he is pretty lackluster in the stat department. So I would say his team options are Ginyu Force, obviously, and any team where you need a mild green tank. That's pretty much it. He doesn't have a lot of places he really fits. So the next question is, where does he fit in the meta? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. If you're not running Ginyu Force, he's not really worth running unless you absolutely don't have any other options. So as far as on the tier list, he's not very high up there. He's at most middle of the road. I don't think he's going to stay in the meta. I wouldn't really even say he's in the meta right now unless you wanted to run this Ginyu Force gimmick team, which isn't a terrible team, but it's definitely not top tier. You would be at a disadvantage against, say, a Broly, Piccolo, Vegeta team or something like that. So, I would say he's already fallen off the meta now that the Ginyu Force event is gone, and I don't really see him coming back. So that's sort of where he's going to be. I hope they bring out another Captain Ginyu character in probably the distant future, because I don't think it's going to be soon, because I really do like the character in the anime. I just don't think that he's a great unit unless you are running this specific team. And that's really all there is to Captain Ginyu. If you guys have any other questions, throw them down in the comments. I'll make sure to get back to you. And if you like this content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.